Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayh. Wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam tabaraka wa salama tasliman kasiran kasira amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa man ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ila Allah wa amila salihan wa qala innani minal muslimin. My dear brothers and respected elders and respected sisters, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is our Rabb. Rabb means our provider, sustainer, nourisher, creator. So Allah says, those who say, my Rabb is Allah. Innal ladhina qalu Rabbuna Allah summa istaqamu. Those who say that my Rabb, my sustainer, my nourisher, my creator is Allah, and he obey the orders of Allah with steadfastness. Innal ladhina qalu Rabbuna Allah summa istaqamu. So with steadfastness means with istiqamah, or with steadfastness, obeying the orders of Allah in all circumstances, either in the condition which are good to them or not. In time of hardship or in at time of ease. So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, give varied condition to each and every one of men. There are conditions which are to his liking or her liking. There are conditions which are not to his or her liking. But in both conditions, men need to obey the orders of Allah in the way which Allah is pleased and with the intention to please Him. Now, able to do that, that's called summa istaqam. Not able to do that, that means not istiqamah. Not able to do it with steadfastness. So, what is desired by Allah is to be able to obey of Allah in all circumstances, in the condition of ease or difficulties, in situation which we like or we don't like. It's not our choice, either to obey or not to obey. When situation is good, okay, now it's time for me to obey the order of Allah. When times which are not good, we say, now I have to rest and defer from obeying the order. That's not the situation which is to be observed. We have to observe, to obey. We have to obey. We have to observe the orders of Allah at all times. And this is what is called istiqamah or steadfastness. So, many people say, now my condition is not so good. My financial is not so good. I need to delay or defer obeying the order of Allah, of doing the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people, whereupon I have to spend time, money. I don't have money now, so I can't do it. I should now spend more time in earning money, and after I'm able to earn money, then I return back to the work. These are the things which many people are doing, but that's not what is warranted, what is wanted. We have to obey the Allah with istiqamah in all circumstances. So those who are not istiqamah means they are not telling from their heart, my Rabb is Allah. Innal ladhina qalu, those who say, it's not with their mouth, those who say in their hearts. That means those who have the belief that Allah is my Rabb, to the level which Allah is pleased, and beyond that. Those people who have the belief, very strong belief, correct belief, that Allah is my sustainer, nourisher, provider, creator. These are the people who will be, the characteristics of these people who having the correct belief in their heart that Allah is my Rabb, is they are istiqamah. They are steadfast in obeying the orders of Allah. If they are not steadfast, that means they don't have. They only have the belief in Allah in their mouth, or have entered to their heart but not to that level which Allah is pleased. So when they don't have the iman to the level which Allah wants or Allah is pleased, then he will not become a person who is istiqamah, who is steadfast. At time of ease he obey. When the time of difficulty come, he disobey. And he will, obey and disobey according to his wishes, like Azri. Now Azri, when he had difficulties last time, he went back to his hometown and stopped doing the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil. He left me without any words of saying, any words, without words he left. He didn't tell me, he didn't see me before he go back to Baling. He simply disappeared all of a sudden. Because he find it's hard, maybe. Situation is hard for him. He want to get married, wife is calling, so he said, I better decide now not to do this work. So he is not the person who has that iman. That will make him to be steadfast in obeying the order of Allah. He's a man without iman, or very weak iman. That's why he stopped, and now he's coming back after 10 years leaving the work. Now he's about to go back as well, thinking that I may want to go back now. So if he repeats the same thing which he has done before, then he will not be in that ayat. Innal ladhina qalu rabbuna Allah summa istaqamu. It's not in that ayat. Only those people who are belonging to that ayat, that who have the belief in his heart, that Allah is my Rabb, to the level that, and that is reflected by his action, which is steadfastness. Allah says the reward for this person, at the time of his death, an angel will be sent to him to tell him the good news. Innal ladhina qalu rabbuna Allah summa istaqamu tatanazzalu alaihimul malaikatu alla takhafu wa la tahzanu. An angel will be sent at the time of his death, and the angel will say to him, nobody else here but that fellow who is about to die will hear, Allah takhafu wa la tahzanu. You don't fear, you don't fear, and you don't be worried. You don't fear whatever will be coming to you. You don't have any. You shouldn't fear, and you shouldn't be worried about what you have left behind, your children, your wife, because you will enter paradise. Allah takhafu wa la tahzanu wa abshiru. The good news for you. Wa abshiru fil jannati allati kuntum tu'adun. You will be made to enter paradise. This is a good news. This is the news of a person who is successful. So in order to become successful, we must have the correct iman, in our heart, the level which Allah is pleased, and beyond that. And a reflection to that is we are steadfastness in obeying the orders of Allah, not like Azri. He's not the man who are referred to this verse of the ayat. And all those people who are not steadfast in prayer, not steadfast in any of the orders of Allah, at times he will obey it. At time he disobeyed. When he is, in Malaysia, he will obey. When he is in America, he disobey. When he is with his friend, he obey. When he is alone, he disobey. When he is not married, he obey. When he got married, he disobey. There are many people like that. They always obey Allah, not according what Allah wants, according to His wishes. This person will have no iman, or very big iman, like Sufyan, and not istiqamah in his prayer. At time he obey, at time he disobey. When there is invitation to visit somebody, he will go and he will disobey. He leave his prayer. He will not, pray in the mosque. He'll pray in the house. According to the suitability of the time and places, he will obey Allah the way he likes. We cannot obey Allah the way we likes. We have to obey Allah the way Allah likes. That's why to obey Allah the way Allah likes, with the intention to please Allah. And when we don't have iman to that level which Allah please, we cannot do the work with istiqamah. Neither we can do the work with ikhlas. Neither we can do the work in the way which Allah is pleased. So we are, in actual fact, very irreligious. But people think that we are religious because at times we still pray and at times we still do da'wah. But we shouldn't do that at time. At time I'm doing da'wah. At other time I'm not. At time I'm praying. At the time I'm not. No. It has to be summa istaqam. So you can make your own reflection and you can look at yourself whether you are and that belong to that group of people or not. Are you istiqamat or not, Sufyan? No. Are you istiqamat, Azri? No. So you have to know whether you are istiqamat in praying tahajud. You? When you start istiqamat doing tahajud? Just lately only, not sure. Only a few months ago you start. But how do you know? Before that you are not doing it with istiqamat. And you cannot say that you are istiqamat. It's only a few months. You never know what condition will come to you later. You know what is meant in that ayat until your death. You have to be istiqamat until your death. Nabi SAW is istiqamat, in praying his tahajud. Even when he was sick, he still prayed tahajud in sitting position. It was mentioned in the hadith. And there are many things which we have to do is istiqamat. We have to do this work of inviting people to good, providing people from evil, the way Muhammad SAW is istiqamat. We should not stop even a day. We should pray with the JAMAT in the mosque for men, for women in the house. This istiqamat. We shouldn't miss even a day. Not a prayer also. Are you istiqamat? Praying in the mosque? Are you istiqamat or not? Cannot. Even if you are working, you have to pray in the mosque. You have to stop your work and go to the mosque. If you cannot do that, you are not istiqamat. Understand? You have to istiqamat in reading Quran daily. You have to do istiqamat in tahajud. You have to do istiqamat. You have to be steadfast in giving charity. Only then you will become the people who are conscious of Allah. The people who are called the true believers of good deeds. Only then you will be having the good news at the time of your death. At the moment, if you only started few months ago, you never know because you have not been istiqamat since many years ago, isn't it? So you can't very sure you are istiqamat now. Are you? No. So how many years? 10 years? Not living any salat with Jamat. 10 years, 20 years. Understand? Only few weeks cannot be. You are not yet tested, my dear. You will be tested. Allah do not give you all your conditions to be good. Allah will test you with conditions of ease and with condition of difficulties. And Allah will see, are you istiqamat or not? You will not be given a situation where you can do it as easy. In a sense, a time will come when you don't have a wife to serve your food, to wake you up. Then are you praying? See? A time will come when you don't have work, no money. Are you observing it or not? Allah will at time make you sick. Will you do it? Will you do gush? See? All the obligatory orders of Allah, we should not miss even a day. All the obligatory orders of Allah. These are the 5 obligatory orders of Allah after reciting the kalima, which is one is to do the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, with the sacrifice of our own wealth and time. In the way Muhammad SAW. Like I said, that one you should not stop even a day. You must do at least local work when you are not going out in the path of Allah. This work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, with the sacrifice of your own time and wealth, there are 2 parts of the work. One is the local work, the work in your locality, where you have to spend. It is obligatory, fardu ain, for all men and women, the sick and the healthy. This order. Ain is always like this. Fardu ain means obligatory for all men and women, sick or healthy. At least 45 minutes a day. So if you are a man, you have to do it individually, you have to do it. If you have friends, you can do it with the JAMAT. So if you want to go and visit from house to house, if you are alone, you must do it. You cannot say, oh, I'm alone. Cannot. So it is fardu ain individually or collectively. It's collectively. But in other words, even if you have no JAMAT, you must do it alone. If you have a woman, you're alone, you're not married, then you have to get another woman with you. And then you go up to visit another woman. Not from house to house. But if you are married, or you can take your mahram, your brother, your wife, your husband, and go from house to house. When the male person come out from the house, then your mahram will give dawat to him. If a female one, you give dawat. Of course, if you are alone, of course, no one is alone except when you are traveling or someone, you live in somewhere. Then you have to, if you cannot find anybody, then you have to make prayer. Only, making dua to the house. You don't see people. You don't call people. If you are a woman. If you are a man, you can do it alone. If a man come out, you give dua. A woman, no. You don't give dua. If no one come out, you make dua. When you are sick, either man or woman, then you have to put your chair or your bed outside the house. Then anybody passing by, you will ask them to come to you. If you are a woman, then you call a woman only. If you are a man, you call man only. If nobody is traveling, you make dua for 45 minutes. This is called fardu ain. Either you are healthy or sick, man or woman. Fard, obligatory. At least a morning 45 minutes. If possible, 2 in the evening, another 45 minutes. 1.5 hours daily. Minimum 45 minutes in a day. So another part of the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people of evil, with the sacrifice of your own time and wealth, is to be done outside the locality, in the whole world. In the locality, part of it, you have to spend 3 days in the neighboring locality, part of the local work. If you have people with you, the women are not required. The women are not required even to go for 3 days. But the men, they can form a Jamaat of 3 days or long. Beyond that, we have to do the work in our country, in our city, in neighboring country, in the whole world. We have to spend 40 days, 2 months, 3 months, up to 4 months, in a year, with the sacrifice of your wealth. And this must be done with Jamaat, in the group. This is called Fardu Kifayah. This is also obligatory, and it's called Fardu Kifayah. The same as the performance of prayer. And with doing that work of Fardu Kifayah, going out for 40 days, 2 months, 6, 3 months, 4 months, you must spend your own wealth and own time. And you must form a Jamaat from your masjid to go to all the other parts of the world. These are also obligatory order in doing the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, with your own sacrifice of money and time. In a year, you must spend at least 2 months, 40 days. Understand? 1 month, 6 months, not 6 months, 4 months maximum. And these are Fardu Kifayah. It's a Fardu except those who are sick are not Fardu Kifayah for women who are sick, you are unhealthy and you are very poor. You can't even loan money. You don't have money at all. You have tried, unable to obtain. Then you are exempted from doing the other work, which is Fardu Kifayah. That's what it meant by Fardu Kifayah. So in prayer also, 5-time prayers, there are two. These orders is also two: Fardu Ain and Fardu Kifayah. Fardu Ain means you have to pray individually. Either you are man or woman, sick or healthy. That means you have to pray. That means you cannot. You have to pray. Second one is Fardu Kifayah. That's only for men who are healthy, not rich. No, not it. Healthy, and that is to pray in Jamat in the mosque. These are Fardu Kifayah. This Fardu Kifayah means it's not sunat, it's Fardu, must. In other words, all men who are healthy, even though they are poor, they have to pray 5 times a day in the Jamat with congregation in the mosque. You don't say this is sunat, it's not sunat. Failing to do that, you'll be sinful. Understand? And you must remain istiqamah. You cannot miss even one salat with Jamat. Like Hanzala not praying with Jamat is sinful. This fajar, Zohor, Asar, Maghrib, Isha has to be done with Jamat in the mosque or if you got a hall or anything in congregations. This is Fardu Kifayah. But the prayer itself is Fardu Ain. That means for the woman and man, if you are sick, even then you have to pray in your house. You may not go to the mosque. But if you are healthy, you have to pray in the mosque, not in the house, not alone. You know. So if you don't do that, you are committing big sins, like Hamzalah now. Isn't it, Hamzalah? At times you don't pray with Jamat. Yeah, you pray alone, isn't it? For Zohor, Asar, and then you are doing sin, very great sin. You don't say, well, you don't think that you are healthy and you still pray alone. If you are healthy, you can't pray alone. You have to pray in the mosque. When the azan is called, you have to go there. Unless you are not healthy, can't even walk. Understand? Then only you must pray. You cannot also say, I cannot pray. Prayer is Fardu Ain. The women is also have to pray whether they are healthy or not healthy in the house. Preferably. They can go to the mosque if they want, but it's not warranted for them to pray. So these are the orders which we have to remain steadfast. And the third one, we have to read. We have to pray Tahajud, which is not obligatory, but near to obligatory. These are the orders for people who want to be close to Allah. And you have to read Quran daily. This is obligatory, daily. Must read Quran, non-stop. And you have to pay you have to pay zakat once in a year. And of course, there is another obligatory which are not to be done daily, which is the performance of Hajj once in a lifetime and the performance of fasting 1 month in a year. These are obligatory for men and women. This cannot be missed. Tahajud is not obligatory, but near to obligatory. So giving sadaqah and zakat is obligatory once in a year. But charity, non-obligatory, but highly recommended. These are the few things which are the most important thing, which are obligatory, and fardu kifayah and fardu ain is to do the work of do the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, with the sacrifice of your wealth and time, locally and whole over the world. The locally is fardu ain, the global one fardu kifayah. Second, SOLAT. To pray alone is obligatory fardu ain for those who are sick, men, and for women. But for healthy men, obligatory to pray in the mosque, fardu kifayah. These are the two orders which are of extreme important. Extreme. But nowadays, Muslims are only doing the prayer, not doing da'wah. So they are disobeyed Allah's orders. They have disobeyed the obligatory orders of Allah. All Muslim women and men in the whole world are not doing the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil. Either the one which is fardu ain or obligatory or fardu kifayah. So the whole Muslim in the whole world is committing sins to Allah. And how can they become the true believers to good deeds? They can't. These two, in order for you to become the true believers of good deeds, these two main orders of Allah must be done with istiqamat. Dawah, the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people, and prayer. And praying tahajud. And reading the Quran. And giving sadaqah. And these are the two orders which are non-obligatory but highly recommended is tahajud and sadaqah. The obligatory one, of course, zakat once in a year. So if you want to become the lover of Allah, the true believer of the deeds, you must do these three orders. The work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, with the sacrifice of your own wealth and time, prayer, and zakat. And of course, you must do performance at night prayer and charity. Charity, if you only depend on zakat, how much you will give him? Charity means you can give to the poor, the needy, the orphans, the wayfarer, and to relieve people, being kept as a prisoner, to pay, something so that he can be released from prison in the war of fighting for the cause of Allah. So all these are the orders that you must know. In order to know this, you must read also the tafsir of my Quran. And there I elaborated in more detail. But there are three very important orders of Allah. One is to do the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, with the sacrifice of their wealth and time. To perform prayer, daily prayer, 5 times. For the men with JAMAT. For women in their home. And the third is to pay zakat, or more frequently to give charity. These are the orders of Allah that will lead you to become person who are conscious of Allah, person who are taqwa. But of course, there are 5 orders of Allah which I have mentioned, to 5 orders of Allah which any Muslim man and woman must regularly do it with istiqamah. That is to do the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, to perform prayer, 5 times daily prayer, to perform tahajud, to give zakat, to give charity and zakat, and to read the Quran. And this you must not miss even a day. Failing to do that, you will not be able to go on the path of becoming the lover of Allah. And this has been explained and in my interpretation of the Quran. You will never hear this from anybody in the whole world, what I told you. But that is real. Because I have gone to that path. I have done it and I have achieved it. To become finally the lover of Allah. If you don't follow the path which I have been treading, you will never be able to get it. So when you are istiqamat, then only this ayat of Allah will be on you. Innal ladhina qalu rabbuna Allah summa istaqam. And your time of death, an angel will send, and they will give you the good news. Allah tahafu wa la tahzanu wa abshiru, good news, wa abshiru fil jannati allati kuntum tu'adun. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the angel will say to him, so we are your companions in your life in this world, and we also will be your companion in the hereafter. And you will, when you enter paradise, you will have the word of welcome from Allah. Allah will welcome you. So these are very great rewards, and something that we need to have at the time of our death, so that when we are about to die, when the soul is about to be taken out from our body, we will smile. Not Anzala, you will not be smiling because you are not istiqamah. Understand? If you don't pray with Jamat 5 times a day in the mosque with steadfastness, except in traveling only, you cannot become. If you are not doing the work daily, like Muhammad Salam, from house to house, daily, with istiqamah, with sacrifice of your wealth and time, and you don't go out in the path of Allah, with istiqamah in a year, then how can you leading to the path of taqwa and the path of those whom Allah will give the good news at the time of his or her death? You must fear your death, and you must prepare for that. A time will come and you will die. It's not that when you are old, when you are young like Anzala, you will not die. You will die any time. We can see many people died at the age of 25, 40. Recently there's one alim from Saudi who live in Indonesia, Sheikh Jabar Ali. He died 44. And everybody was shocked. Why you have to die? Why you die so early? Why you die so early? But you need the time. So do you have confidence that at the time you have a death, an angel will come to give you the good news? If you want that, Allah says you must have belief in your heart that Allah is my Rabb, my sustainer, nourisher, and you must obey the order of Allah with istiqamah. I've told you what are the orders of Allah you have to istiqamah. If you don't do it and still go on as you are now, and you will fail to achieve it, and will not get the good news, but you got an angel with a fierce look come to you to snatch your soul, and at that time, people will see why you are not smiling. You are screaming like because you have the bad news that you go to the hellfire. Okay.